everybody. Welcome to this edition of Connections, the DU podcast. And today we have a special guest, Meagan Terry. Meagan is a senior electrical engineer in our electric operations group, and it's Women in Engineering Day. So we wanted to spend a little time with Meagan and just hear about what struck her interest in engineering, her journey here to DU, and a little bit about what she does every day to benefit our customers. So welcome, Meagan.
Thank you.
It's good to have you with us.
Thank you.
Just to begin with, just tell us a little bit about what you do here at DU and the role you play as an electrical engineer.
Here at Decatur Utilities, I am a senior electrical engineer, and I deal with I'm more of a project engineer at this point. So anything to do with any kind of commercial project, industrial project, large subdivisions. I deal mostly with contractors and developers on that side.
So have you seen a pretty good influx with the growth we've seen the past few years of those duties kind of increasing since past years?
We've had a ton of commercial development, different neat things coming into Decatur. The 6th Avenue redevelopment project, that was a big one. We took a ton of poles off of 6th Avenue. It looks so much better. I think that's going to be a great project. And then, the parking deck development with the Cook's Addition, that's a big one coming in. We've had a couple of subdivisions develop in, so we've had a good bit of commercial projects coming through Decatur.
Wonderful. What's a day in the life of Meagan look like, just typical day when you get here to work?
Well, when I get here to work, I usually I have to check my emails and see what big items I've got going on, and then I try to plan my day in advance at the end of the next day, but sometimes fires have to be put out and it requires, different things to happen in my day than I planned. I deal with mostly, like I said, contractors. I get to design really cool stuff, relocate different power lines and build in power lines. So some days I'm doing design work, some days I'm in the field with the line guys. So it just really depends on the day. Sometimes I plan to be in the field and I have to be in the office, and some days I have to be in the office, it just vice versa.
Yeah. So every once in a while we have those pesky little storms that come through, and then you're thrust into another role. Tell us a little about that.
Yes. So I have recently come off call as a dispatcher, but for, I think 12 or 13 years, I was a dispatcher. So anytime we would have storms come in, I would be on call, and I would be pulled into that storm role as a dispatcher and kind of tell the crews where they needed to go and what, how to restore some of the outages we had with our big outages that would come in.
Yeah. So going back a few years, what kind of triggered your interest in engineering to begin with, and then take us on that journey from that point to what got you here to DU?
So I really figured out, I guess in 8th grade, that I was really good at math. Math was something that came very natural to me. It never changes. That's the beauty of math. The rules are always the same. You're always going to have, the same equations, and you're always going to come out with the same answer. So I figured out pretty young that I really enjoyed math. Science was probably my second class that I enjoyed. Not a reader. I was never a reader. I can't stand to have to write a bunch of stuff, and history has its place, but not in my head. But as I actually started out, funny story, I was pre-med in college. I was going to be a doctor. That was my goal. I wanted to be a doctor. So I started out, taking that, medical classes. It took one anatomy class for me to say, Meagan, that's probably not for you. The whole anatomy, not a good thing for Meagan. So I actually changed majors 2 years into college. From medical, and I actually have a couple of cousins that are engineers. One's an aerospace engineer, and I have 2 electrical engineers, and 1 computer engineer. And so at Christmas one day, talking to them about, I got to figure out what I'm good at and what role I need to, which direction I need to go. And talking to them, I was like, oh, I'll be an engineer. So I changed my major to electrical engineering, and I went to UH, graduated from UH, actually graduated on a Sunday from UH and started at Decatur Utilities the same week on a Wednesday.
I did not know that. That's news to me.
And I've been here 18 years.
Wow.
Most people say, okay, Meagan, you're not the typical engineer that you see, but I think in the in the role that I play at Dakota Utilities, you kind of have to be a little bit personable, like a little bit more personal than your typical engineer. Now, I can be the recluse engineer. That's where I'm comfortable at. But I do enjoy going out and meeting people, and especially being in the service world where, we provide a service for our customers. And so you really have to have a servant's heart. And I feel like that's a role that God has given me as well, of being a good servant. So that I think that helps me in my role as an engineer as well.
Very good. Well, we've got hopefully some folks out there listening and watching. What advice would you have for a young lady or a young man who's looking at their future as far as maybe going into engineering?
So the thing I encourage all kids, I have a few children myself, is figure out what you really are good at. If you're really driven towards that math and science world, explore the engineering option. Being an engineer I really do enjoy what I do every day, and I enjoy the people that I meet, the guys I get to work with. My line guys are fantastic to work with. They make me look really good on a daily basis with some of my designs. So I really am fortunate with that. But engineering is a great field. I have learned so much, and every year I learn something new. So it's a great field to be in, especially in this area. I mean, the utility world, you don't typically think about an electrical engineering job in the utility world or in this area. Because we have so much stuff going on the arsenal. Right. But it really, without the utility world, the electric system, you couldn't do any of that.
Yeah. Everything else falls by the wayside.
Exactly. So as an electrical engineer in the utility world, I love what I do. I never do the same thing twice in a day typically. Yeah. My days, none of them look the same. When I may plan to do a design on Monday and a storm rolls in, right, and I'm out doing storm repair. So I've really enjoyed my career here at Dakota Utilities.
Great. Well, thanks for joining us. Hope you got some great insights into the engineering world from Meagan. We appreciate you joining us today on Connections to DU podcast.